Chicken Jockey.
Flippin' Steve.
BroadBoys podcast. Welcome back to the next episode of BroadBoys podcast. I'm Cade. This is Micah.
Yo.
We have both seen, in all of its glory, the Minecraft movie.
Woo!
And we want to talk about it.
Yes.
We want to talk about it because, you know, it's mixing the movies and the games. Like, and those are the things that we talk about here.
It's mixing the things we speak about together.
Oh, I have some strong opinions.
I have opinions that aren't super strong.
All right, let's hear. All right. Well, first of all, how about this? Did you enjoy the movie experience? That's
Yes.
the easiest thing.
Yes, I did.
And I will say this. I enjoyed my movie experience a lot. And I need to say that because I'm going to say some negative things.
Yeah.
And I think I'm going to get some pushback from people. But I need you to understand. I love the movie experience.
Yeah, I had a great movie experience. I would not rate the movie positively.
Oh no, not at all. Not at all. It did your theater yell Chicken Jockey?
They did, and threw popcorn.
And threw popcorn?
Yeah.
Well, man, I'm kind of bummed because we went like at an 8:15 showing. So there was like maybe 20 people in the audience.
We had kids in a row doing the penis game.
Oh, that
just
is
yelling
like,
it as
oh
loud
my
as
goodness.
possible.
This sounds like an amazing experience. Yeah, I think Myra was the only one yelling Chicken Jockey.
Yeah.
So that felt, well, I couldn't tell. I was like busy laughing. Like I see the scene come up and I'm like bracing myself. I'm like,
Yep.
oh, it's time. And we all Chicken Jockey, and it's great and it's fantastic. And then as soon as we say Chicken Jockey, the whole movie is like the most boring, worthless thing ever,
It's true.
in my opinion.
It's true. The lead up,
There was an amazing line. First we mine,
and then we
and then we craft.
Minecraft.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, like how would you describe the movie? How would you describe it?
I felt like I was on drugs watching it.
Okay.
So just from a very purely like analyst standpoint, they didn't know who the main character was. Which, yep. It feels like they added a bunch of characters throughout the process and just gave them bad scripts.
Yeah.
It was weird. It was weird. I will say, Jason Momoa and
Jack Black
have some chemistry.
I liked it.
It was pretty good. I think everyone else probably could have been gone.
Yeah.
Just
No,
saying.
I agree. I agree. So, all right, let me then, before we super, scrutinize this movie or whatever, did it meet your expectations?
I didn't expect much.
But did it meet your expectations?
No, it was below my expectations.
All right, I agree. So people are calling me crazy because I'm like, man, that was a garbage movie. That was like way worse than I thought it was going to be. And people are like, what are you talking about? You go in there expecting garbage. I'm like, yeah, but that was like...
It was worse than garbage.
That was not just like kids movie, whatever. That was like... And I noticed this as soon as the movie started, you got the opening credits.
Yep.
And I saw there were 5 people attributed for the screenplay.
Uh-huh.
I'm just like, oh no. And you can tell that there were so many half like finished ideas in the whole movie, and particularly with the characters. Like, and to be like, oh, it doesn't matter. Oh, it's a Minecraft movie. It's like, well, I mean, kids' content should be good too, especially a IP and franchise that has like that much going for it and that much money being poured into it. Now, granted, I think there was some like development hell issues going on.
I'm sure there must have been. But
With the CGI in particular, I know there's like some early versions, but like there are ideas like, again, as you said, all these characters like just didn't matter, but they have this setup like they should matter.
Yeah.
So like the kids.
The kids. Like the guy, the I can't remember his name. It doesn't matter.
Henry.
Yep, Henry. Sure, Henry.
We'll go with Henry.
It's set up that he's going to be a super creative type or whatever. And
Or like that he's being suppressed and like his creativity is all that. And then the final battle.
It didn't
What's
matter.
creative?
Nothing.
What's creative?
He made the Golem army.
He made the golem and
Big
put
thoughts.
boots of swiftness.
I know.
And that's the only. There's no creativity. There wasn't any building involved.
Everything feels like it was just thrown in.
Yeah.
Or even I saw how much the actors were paid. The sister was paid, I think, twice as much as Henry.
Okay.
I felt like she didn't do anything in the movie.
She had a worse like kind of arc. You can't even call it an arc. It's literally just like, oh, I said a mean thing to my brother.
Yeah.
And that's all it is. And Henry never shows any grief from that.
Yep.
Like the sister.
It's characters that don't matter. I can understand having a third character that goes in with Jason Momoa. But having the 2 extra ones is
well,
a bit
I think
much.
it would have been fine if they amounted to anything.
Well, but
you can tell there's like so many things that are like, oh, they're setting up for this. You know, like for example, Jason Momoa plays this guy that won tournaments for doing a 2-player beat 'em up game by himself. You know, and so that's the setup, and then he's like got chemistry with Steve. And there's like, oh, they're gonna do a fight scene
where they're gonna play together,
they're fighting together.
Yeah,
and that's the whole thing. Doesn't happen.
Never happens.
Doesn't happen. You know, the whole creativity with the Henry thing doesn't happen. There really is no resolution to anything that the characters are.
No, not at all. Also, the villain sucked.
Yeah, no Ender Dragon.
No Ender Dragon. Didn't do in the end.
And again, that final fight kind of
sucked.
Really bugged me.
It was bad.
Because, you know, even like as a kid's movie, you know, it should be like, all right, they're going for the whole creativity is awesome route. You should embrace creativity. And then it's just a normal fight scene.
I know. And I feel like the only thing people appreciate is Jack Black saying words.
Yeah.
And that's it.
Yeah. I mean, if Jack Black was in this movie, people would call it a 1 out of 10. But because he says chicken jockey, it's a 3.
Yeah.
You know, that's or even like Jason Momoa's character like dies. He does a fake death.
Yeah.
And then it's not like that impact is nowhere on the characters.
I know.
And he comes back
like,
and there's not even like, you're alive.
Yeah.
And then there's like a moment where it's like, don't worry, kid. You know, it's time to get crafting.
Yeah,
and
but what about the B plot?
Which
the villager B plot?
Okay, that was the best part of the movie.
Yeah.
I forget the actress's name.
Yeah, I can't remember
it's
either.
Like she falls in love with a villager, and I thought that was good.
It was funny. That was like genuinely like a little bit of like juxtaposition, I guess.
Yeah, I was sad that like over half of that story was in the end credits.
Yeah,
but, you know. Let me ask you this. So, I gotta phrase this right.
Okay.
It's do you think that? Man, all right. I can't phrase this question. I'll get back to you.
Okay.
But, did you like the CGI more than you thought you would? Because I personally did.
It wasn't as egregious. I'm glad that the like almost sort of grotesque theme was applied to everything. Yeah. The pigs were surprisingly hairy.
Yeah, and like
it was weird
when the zombies are like ripping apart sheep and all that.
Yeah.
You know, it's like
it was kind of cool.
Yeah. Who is the movie for? That was
I don't know.
That's the question
People,
I'm gonna ask.
I don't know. So I will say, to the movie I went to, there were definitely older teenagers who looked like your stereotypical Discord moderator.
Okay.
Like, I mean, short jorts with like a tank top put in, and he was wearing a tie and had this weird, wacky, thick belt on. And
hey, you got to dress up for the Minecraft movie.
I don't know what he was dressed up as.
But I mean, do you think? Because if you're like, oh, it's meant for kids, you know, there were like a couple curse words said throughout.
There were,
and all
yeah.
that. I was like, oh, that's weird. So it must be meant for.
I did see that too, because I was like, you know, it wasn't like egregious curse words, but it was definitely like
it's like
it's not
for a kid.
Yeah, it's not like for an 8-year-old.
But it's so like slop, like TikTok brain rot.
It
slop,
is 100%.
That have a hard time believing that the purpose of the movie, and that's the thing, it all comes down to like the purpose of the movie is so like non-existent, and that's like the biggest thing that makes the movie like this should be like a 2.
It's just a cash grab. I mean, that's what it is. And I mean, it is making money as of right now. They crossed $350 million in sales. Like,
yeah, they blew Super Mario out of the water for opening weekend, which is a kids movie based on a video game
and
IP,
was pretty decent,
and at least stayed consistent.
Yeah,
you know, that's like it's like, oh, you went to the Mario movie expecting whatever. I was like, yeah, and it met and exceeded it because not only did it have Jack Black, who actually acted in that movie versus just being himself, but it had whatever themes it had, it stuck to it, and it had an actual story arc versus introducing whatever 5 different writers wanted to add and then just don't conclude any of it.
No, I know. Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think the movie undermet my already low expectations. I think you're right. The CGI wasn't as bad as I was initially thinking it was going to be. That being said, it was an overbloated movie with underdeveloped characters. The themes were not there.
Yeah.
Everything was a gag. There was nothing serious one bit, which is fine.
Expected. But it's like, no, but here's the thing. It's fine when you don't introduce some things like, oh, this is going to be serious.
Yep. Like, yeah. I don't know. They set it up like it was going to be semi-slapstick, like almost like a kid's version of Napoleon Dynamite.
Sure.
Especially with how they set up Jason Momoa's character.
Wasn't the director
involved
in Napoleon Dynamite?
I don't remember. Might have been. But it's set up to feel that way. And then that was all gone.
Yeah. I mean, you had some cameos in there too and some references. Like there was a Technoblade reference and all that. I don't think this was a win though, overall for video game media.
No, it's not.
Yeah. And with The Last of Us Season 2 coming out, and
which I hope is good.
Yeah.
By the way, I'm gonna watch it. It's just
I'd be surprised if it wasn't good, but
they
that's a whole different...
they are doing an interesting time jump where they're taking themes from The Last of Us Part 2, but it's not quite to Part 2. So
yeah, they're doing the thing where they're making it different again, and so
we're gonna see how that goes because at least season 1 followed the game. Like it was like watching a live action version of the game. The least rated episode, which by the way wasn't even super downvoted, was the one episode they did that wasn't from the game, which is the Trapper's backstory.
Okay, yeah.
But outside of that, season 1 was phenomenal.
Yeah.
And I don't even think that episode was poorly written. It just felt like it was really out of place from the whole series.
Yeah, this time they did it sneakily. They did the first season the way that people wanted. Yeah, it's a direct translation from the game. Season 2, they're like, all right, I got it from here. I got from here, Naughty Dog.
We'll see what happens because I think if they're doing what I think they're doing, which is trying to like bridge the gap between between game 1 and game 2, and then give you like a game 2 version, that'd be great. Yeah. That'd be cinematic history.
Sure. We'll see how it goes.
We'll see how it goes, though.
We'll see how it goes. Yeah, I've actually been watching more TV than I usually do. I watched the entirety of Severance.
Really? I have. I'm gonna finish season 1 tomorrow. I have a plan to.
Yeah, I know. In the past, we talked about TV culture, and I think Severance is a show that's like kind of breaking through modern TV culture and being an event that you go through with the culture.
People love Severance.
Yeah, I have opinions.
Yeah, like I said, I've only seen half of season 1, and I'm gonna hopefully finish that tomorrow.
Fine. It's a great show. It's a great show. It's one of the better, TV shows that I've seen.
Yep, was an Apple TV exclusive. It still is. Okay,
it still is.
I think, as far as like streaming platforms go, Apple TV probably has the least amount of content, but it's consistently high quality content.
Yeah, all of the Apple TV shows get a big it's probably the marketing too, but they get a lot of attention, and typically they're really well reviewed.
Yeah, they're good. Yeah,
it's got Ted Lasso too, I believe, which is
Ted
really
Lasso,
popular.
Which is once again, I have watched a lot of Ted Lasso through YouTube Shorts.
Yeah,
and I really want to watch it. I just don't own Apple TV at the moment.
So funny. Well, I would recommend Severance.
Yep, I would highly recommend Severance right now. Yeah. If you go see the Minecraft movie, make sure it's a packed theater. That will be your enjoyment.
It was so sad just seeing no one there. I would never watch it unless it's in that context of I'm in a theater with a bunch of people who are gonna meme about Chicken Jackie.
Yeah.
If you're going there to seriously enjoy the movie, I'm sorry. If it's
gonna be bad.
If you're at home and you're watching it, I'm sorry. Yeah. It's just like, oh my goodness.
Yeah, it'll be bad. But outside of those things, I had a good experience with it.
Yeah. Again, and I think to say that my expectations weren't met is not a crazy thing to say.
Yeah.
Because they weren't.
I think everyone else at the theater exceeded my expectations.
Yeah. All the camaraderie, the people around you, the friends you made along the way.
Yep. I agree.
Was the 10 out of 10 experience.
Yes.
But
absolutely.
the movie? Didn't help much.
No, I would honestly probably rate it one of the worst movies I've ever seen.
Really? Whoever made those trailers needs to get a raise.
They do.
Because that was probably half of the revenue from that movie. You know, that cut into Chicken Jockey, I mean, it's like absolute cinema. Absolute cinema. For the trailer. So, but man, what a weird movie.
I know.
What a weird movie. And I'm scared that that's going to just cause, you know, it's like, oh,
well,
you know, do Jack Black.
You know, Mattel's got 12 movies in the works right now.
Yeah, Hot Wheels. And
I'm optimistic about Hot Wheels. I really hope they just go with like Speed Racer 2012
That'd be
version.
great.
Yeah,
That'd be
exactly.
Great. We'll see.
And just do Hot Wheels.
Doubt it.
Yeah.
I doubt it. I think they're going to do safe Mimi movies.
Because I mean, what do you have to meme about Hot Wheels or Mr. Potato Head?
I don't know. Like, he's right behind me, isn't he? Or, you know. Oh, that just happened.
Fair enough, I guess.
I don't know. I heard, like, I saw what might have been either rumors or, like, an initial plan sheet of, like, interesting Mattel movies, like an Uno movie.
Yeah.
But it's like a heist.
Yeah, I did see that.
Or, you know, unconventional ways to implement the brands. But I think following the Barbie movie and this Minecraft movie, I think it's going to be safe slop.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, then again, other safe slop has been failing. Snow White failed. Which
was that safe slop though?
It was the same director who did Barbie.
Really?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Greta Gerwig. Yep.
Dang.
So
yeah, I didn't even know that came out.
Yeah, it is definitively Disney's worst ever received film.
Yeah.
Like,
and I believe they canceled the live action Tangled movie.
They did because of it.
Because of it.
Yeah, so it's estimated that movie cost, I think, $500 million after reshoots, and that doesn't even include marketing.
Really?
And it had made less than $30 million.
Why?
They reshot half the movie after the backlash from the images and stuff.
Yeah. I mean, there's a lot. I feel like there's a lot of sensitive topics surrounding why Snow White didn't end up working.
I mean, at the end of the day, I think, and for a lot of things, forget the politics, forget anything else. It's the same reason I think The Witcher failed, is because the director and some of the actors very openly said they didn't like the source material.
Yeah.
Why are you working on a project that you didn't like the source material?
It's crazy.
Like for The Witcher, right? I can't remember the director's name, but she was very adamant, and she said in a interview that she didn't like the source books. She read them, she didn't like them, and she thought she could do it better. And it's like, well, now you've lost your chance of success. Like, who's watching it?
Even by saying that,
I know,
like,
right?
Because all the fans who like that, though, granted, I feel like Snow White fans are pretty rare at this point.
That's fair, but you need to just make a traditional Disney princess film then, right? And all the stereotypes are weird because like you put Gal Gadot as the evil witch and you're like, she's ugly, and it's like, you know what I mean?
Oh yeah, that's the whole plot.
Yeah,
is Mirror Mirror on the Wall.
Yep, and you're trying to tell me that Rachel Ziegler is significantly more attractive than Gal Gadot. You know,
you didn't watch the movie, right?
I didn't watch the movie,
it either.
But I know what the actors look like. So did
they do actual little people for the actors, or
it was
CGI?
All CGI? Yep. And the picture that you saw from online, that was the full cast that they said was little people. That was actually the Band of Merry Men, which, by the way, if the reviews are to be believed, had less than 3 minutes of screen time. Which you hire X amount of actors and you give them less than 3 minutes of screen time is wild, and you include them in your promotional material. Yeah,
well, like, and, you know, typically when a Disney movie comes out, I'm a bit annoyed because I'm like, oh, great. I'm not a fan of Disney music.
Yep.
So I'm like, oh, great. Here's a new Disney sound on Reels, or, oh, here's new songs I got to listen to. Nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Zero.
Like, dead in the water, absolute silence. Just like, no one is talking about Snow White, including, I mean, Disney people.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, I think it's not a politics issue. I mean, there is some of that.
I'm sure,
right?
I'm sure it's
the big thing is just wanting to respect the source material. Like, it doesn't matter. Yeah, Walt Disney was kind of a racist, that does not mean that all of the material he made is inherently bad.
Yeah. And if so, why would you remake it anyway?
Exactly.
So
exactly.
And my question always is just like, why? Like, what's the point of giving these directors these IP?
Oh, 100%. Like, why do it? I mean, I understand Greta Gerwig. She was just off the heels of Barbie, and she seemed like the right choice. I get that. But it's like, you look at, for instance, James Bond. They've redone Casino Royale 3 times, and every single time it's a box office success. It's the same movie, just with a new updated actor.
Yeah.
And the gadgets are a bit different, but, you know, it's the same freaking movie.
Yeah.
And people
that's
don't
what
care.
people
That's
want.
what they want, you know?
That's what they want.
If you're going to make me a Casino Royale movie, yeah, I expect it to be modern, but not a new story.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, and that's where you lose people, you know. It's like people are so like, man. I mean, it's just people, the masses, or let's say the masses, are like hypocritical because they're like, oh, we want something new, but they only want stuff that's the same.
Yeah.
But it's also like there needs to be like passion and respect, and I feel like there's not that in a lot of like these
like a lot of
remakes.
Yeah, a lot of people are willing to overlook changes, right? But you need that passion and respect. Like the Fallout movie, you know, that's new. It's the same IP, not movie. Sorry,
TV
the show.
Yeah,
it's new, but it respects the IP. Everyone in it was fans of the game.
Yeah.
Like they played Fallout 4.
Yeah, and I mean the world was like super respected and had it had like call outs to other games.
Yep.
And it like and really what you can tell that they played the games because the twists were very Fallout like.
Yes,
You know,
they were.
It's like yep, that could have been in a game.
Yep. Yeah, and so I think it's just politics aside, I think most people are willing to overlook something that doesn't align with their political identity, right? If two things. One, it still respects the source material, and two, it's not shoved down your throat, right?
Yeah.
Like, I remember people criticizing the in the live action Beauty and the Beast movie, there was a gay couple in there, right? And I remember a whole bunch of backlash. And guess what? It didn't affect the movie sales almost at all because the movie still respected the source material, still did a good job.
And people who were against that still went to go watch it.
Exactly.
You know, so.
And so it's not a big deal so long as you respect the source material.
Yeah. No, that's a good way of putting it. Changes are okay, but, you know, it's about the respect and passion.
And talking about changes.
Yeah.
Xbox has rumors leaked that they are changing their console type.
Yeah. So now,
do you like that segue?
Take this with a grain of salt because I have seen rumblings of this, and I think it's interesting enough to talk about. But I haven't seen an official Xbox source. But they are working on a new console.
Yes,
we know that.
That is known.
That is slated for 27, 28.
Yes, and this is after they said they were getting out of the console game.
Yes.
So
how does that make sense? Well, what is being said around the online spaces right now is that the new Xbox console,
Xbox Prime, so to speak, is going to be basically a mini PC with console convenience in mind. So what does that mean? It means it can run SteamOS, which means it can run The Last of Us. So you can play The Last of Us on your new Xbox or Spider-Man. Spider-Man 2, you know, like a lot God of War, you can play it on your Xbox. It's like bypassing the Sony exclusive thing.
Yeah. So you know, they've been doing this marketing thing. It's like, all right, we realize we can't do our physical Xboxes anymore. So everything's an Xbox. You can stream through Xbox, you get the Game Pass, you know, all that. So, but now they're taking a step further. It's like, hey, we're just going to make a branded mini PC that like has, you know, whatever OS they put on it, but it can run Steam OS.
And so it's just going to have an interface that's familiar Xboxy. You'll be able, it's going to be controller optimized.
But really, it's just a mini PC.
Yeah, really.
It's kind of like what I've done with my Kate Station.
Yeah.
So, you know, which is a mini PC that I've kind of optimized it for home console use and controllers. So it's basically what they're doing. So, you know, you're welcome, Microsoft. You know.
Yeah, you stole his idea.
It's okay. It's okay. I expect the royalties soon, but you know, it's whatever. I mean, I think it's the right play.
Honestly, completely. I think consoles are dying And the only ones that aren't are because they have an iron grip on their IP, looking at Nintendo. And so, and even Nintendo's realizing that a true console, isn't even the way to go. Hence
Yeah,
the
they got to do
Switch
the
2,
hybrid.
and yeah, it's hybrid. Everything's hybrid.
Because everything's moving to PC.
Yep.
Because PCs are it's easier to make a mid-budget PC that runs 90% of what they want.
Well, exactly, right? Like the PlayStation being a $1,200 Pro, right? That will run what a $650 PC can now run. It's like consoles aren't budget anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, we've definitely seen that. And like Nintendo having their $450, $500 with the bundle, Switch 2, and then also Sony, they should have kept the prices alone after all this pricing scandal.
Yeah.
And then they decided to raise the price of their PS5s.
Yep, they raised the price citing tariffs and monetary issues and whole bunch of corporate speak of saying F you.
Yeah,
like
sure.
really.
I mean, I know tariffs are such a, it's such an uncertain thing.
It feels like such a cop-out, though, seeing as none of these tariffs have stuck for longer than a month so far.
Well, they have to make a decision.
I know they have to make a decision, but they're making a financial decision that hasn't strictly hurt them yet, which it's just like, so it's greed. Currently, it's just greed.
Yeah. Nintendo was withholding pre-orders for a while because of the tariffs.
Yep.
They specifically said because of the tariffs. And they decided to not raise the price of the console.
Yep.
But some of the accessories are getting a $5 and $10 price bump.
Yeah.
Which makes, if you want to get a pair of Joy-Con 2s, $95.
Holy.
$95. So that's...
They were $85 before?
Yeah.
It still feels a lot, but...
Yeah, I mean, normal Joy-Cons are $80.
That's fair, I guess.
So,
that still feels like a lot.
Know. It's weird. It's weird. But, there's been a lot... Yeah. There's been a lot of misinformation around the Nintendo stuff too. Like $90 games don't exist. That was because someone didn't know what a euro is, basically, or the game carts being just pass keys are only for when the publisher decides that.
Yeah,
it's not like that's a standard across the board.
Yeah.
Now, I'm not going to defend an $80 game. I'm not going to buy for $80. I'm going to buy for $50 in a bundle. But because and they showed off the Mario Kart stuff, and it's like, man, I thought they were hiding something to be like, oh, this is worth $80. It does not look like $80 worth. But some people are taking it crazy far. It's like if you want to say boycott Nintendo because of the game prices, I think that's fine.
I definitely think they've pushed the price up a tiny bit too high. I think if they experience subpar sales, they might decrease the price after the first month.
That's what happened with the Nintendo 3DS, but it's literally like, I don't think any of this would happen. I don't think any of this would have happened if it wasn't for $80 Mario Kart.
Oh, I completely agree. I think they've overstepped their
Well,
goodwill.
because for our average person, the console price doesn't really matter as much because they're going to be buying more games than consoles.
Yeah.
But seeing like, oh, I got to pay another $10 for my games. It just went up to $70, and I was so upset about that.
And even Xbox, we're talking about the hybrid game console. It's coming out, and you'll be able to buy PC-priced games. We don't know what the price of this console is going to be yet.
Yeah.
They very well could be putting 50 series graphics cards in with the mobile versions. It makes it expensive, right? I understand that.
If it's under $600 though,
if it's under $600, it will become the new standard.
Yeah,
Sony can kiss their reign goodbye. Like anything's an Xbox, sure, but now that I can get a $600 mini PC and I can play all of my Steam games on it. I mean, you know,
yeah. I mean, we'll see if that's what the public thinks.
I mean, even $800 would be reasonable.
You think?
I think so.
I don't think that'll get people to buy it, though.
I think the fact that Sony is willing to push out pros at $900, $950, they're already undercutting the standard, and it's more flexible.
Yeah. No, that's true.
Like, they could price it at $800 and still be competitive, which maybe that's just wild for the market we're in.
Yeah.
But
whenever I'm hoping there's a lull at some point, and we can actually look after the dust is settled and be like, all right, what's actually the price of $1 right now?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I have no clue what $1 is meant to buy me at the moment.
Yeah.
Because I can still buy four what are the chocolate twists that are like a quarter?
A Tootsie Roll?
Yeah, I can still buy 4 little Tootsie Rolls for $1. That still feels wrong. I should be able to buy more than that, but
I think I mean, you can still get an Arizona tea.
Yeah, you can still get an Arizona tea for $1.
Hey,
so.
$1.50, you get the hot dog combo at Costco.
It's true. So really, what should $1 buy me?
Really, that should be the gold standard. Is the hot dog and the soda from Costco.
Yeah.
And then we just base everything off of that.
Do I need to change like my standard when buying games? Like, is it no longer $1 an hour? Is it like $1 for half an hour now? Like, where do I have to put my standards?
Yeah, is that how you usually do it?
That is how I usually do it. I go, if I'm buying this game for $50, can I see myself getting 50 hours of enjoyment out of it?
That's interesting. I don't think I've ever taken that approach, really.
Like, there are some games that get my exclusions, and usually those are movie games, which is its own topic, and we've talked about it. But
yeah, I mean, I can tell you, I've definitely put way more hours than dollars I've spent on Nintendo games. But
yeah,
I think
it's fair.
But for them to be pricing like 10-year-old games as $60 still is like, I don't know. That's thing. There is some depreciation. I think that's fair to say.
Well, yeah.
And Nintendo doesn't want to say that, but there is some depreciation to a game coming out 10 years ago and now.
They want to believe that their games haven't depreciated in value at all.
Yeah.
Which, interesting take on your own games, but
you know, it's weird.
It's
so weird.
But yeah, I mean, even just looking at games right now, like indie games are still so good.
Yeah, there is Expedition 33's coming out.
Yep, very
soon. Month. Doom: The Dark Ages, which I really haven't heard anything about.
I actually saw they had a pre-release, pre-showing. People got keys.
Yeah.
It looks freaking awesome.
Yeah, I'm surprised the marketing hasn't been like.
I'm sure once it releases, we're gonna like. I remember when Doom Eternal, is that the last one, came out, they had like TV ads and everything else. It was great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. But you know what's really making its rounds right now?
What?
Repo and Schedule 1.
Yeah, those indie horror multiplayer games.
Or
though I wouldn't say Schedule 1.
Schedule 1's a drug sim.
Yeah.
Which combines all the best aspects. You get your farming sim folks in there to grow weed, or you get your FPS run around players run around on a skateboard selling drugs and shooting cops.
Just a pinnacle of all genres.
I mean, honestly, did you see they got sued by the makers of Drug Dealer Simulator? Sorry, it wasn't the makers; it was the publisher of Drug Dealer Simulator.
Wait, what?
Yeah.
Only we can make a drug dealing game.
That's what everyone was like. They're like, what do you mean you're suing them?
Wow, what a market.
And you know what happened? They didn't have to do a thing. I think they repealed the lawsuit. I can't, don't quote me on that.
What did the developers say?
The developers didn't say anything. Instead, it was all the fans of Schedule 1 who were consequently also fans of Drug Dealer Simulator, because those two markets overlap. They all went and review bombed Drug Dealer Simulator 1 and 2. To the point where they are now one of the most downvoted games on Steam, which is so crazy. Like, you were just that money hungry that now your game has been downvoted into oblivion. It is so
all over
funny.
Drug Deal Simulator.
It's like its own drug deal. It's like the games are crack, and they're fighting over it. We need to cook, Jesse.
That's a great way of putting it. Wow. Well, so what have you been playing? You've been playing some Schedule 1, it sounds
I've been playing some Schedule 1. I did some multiplayer, and then I've played some single player just on my own. It's genuinely a lot of fun. Looking at the achievements, though, there is one that's kind of nuts. You have to have $10 million in like value.
Okay.
The tough part is, I think after just like looking up some guides on how best to get there, it doesn't scale that high.
So you're trying to max out on Schedule 1 here.
Well, I've been thinking about it because it doesn't look too difficult, but everyone's like, you can get all the achievements but this one in about 15 hours. This one is going to take you another 15 hours.
Yeah.
Which is one of those achievements where it's like they built it in, but the like highest drug you can sell is, I think, like $240 or something, and you can maybe sell 15 of them or so you're at most making like $2,000 a day.
Yeah, and that's a lot of days.
Yeah, it's a lot of days.
For 10 million.
For 10 million.
That's crazy.
Which is where the time comes from. Like, you're not even really playing anymore, you're just letting time pass. And the downside is there's no time skip feature. Like, if you go to bed at night your crops don't just grow while you're sleeping, which I found out.
Yeah.
You have to. It's just the time is persistent.
Okay.
The only reason it forces you to sleep is at 4 a.m. your crops stop growing and makes you sleep.
Okay.
So sleeping doesn't actually speed anything up.
Crops.
Yep.
Your crops.
Mm-hmm. But outside of that, I've been playing Half Sword, which is they tout it as one of the most realistic like sword fighting sims, but it's obviously physics engine based, so you can really screw with it a lot. It's super cool, super fun. It's a demo right now, but they just released what they called the Gauntlet, which is where they gave you an unlockable character, but you have to beat the Gauntlet to do it, which is where you have 1 life and you have to win. It's well over 100 like battles, and if you die, you restart.
Yippee! Yeah, that's super cool.
It's super cool. It's super fun. It's super tough. I enjoy it though. So it's a game that I can hop in and say, oh, I have 30 minutes today. I'm gonna try running a gauntlet.
Whatever happened? Did you beat Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, or are you still working on it?
This is the problem with how I play games is if I had put in the same amount of time I've been putting into other games, I would have finished it by now. It's just the trouble is when I play Kingdom Come, I want to set aside at least 2 hours to be immersed and like really get into the storyline and stuff like that. Which is the downside because I haven't had 2 hours of time to set aside to it recently. So if I had just done every 30-minute that I was like, oh, I could play a quick gauntlet, is like I could play a little bit of Kingdom Come Deliverance for 30 minutes. You know, I'd be a lot further along, maybe even done. But I'm always like, but I really want to play the game. Yeah. You know? And so I just haven't had time to play the game.
Okay.
Which is sad.
Yeah.
But
that's what happens sometimes.
Yeah, I mean, extenuating stuff, you know, hospital visits and other things last couple weeks.
Yeah. Oh, you're trying to make me pity you now.
You should pity me.
No, I don't.
I haven't been able to play games.
But you weren't. You had a better Minecraft movie experience than me, though, so you'll get no pity. Absolutely none.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
Sorry. What I've been playing, I've been doing the Achievement of the Week and month and all that still, so I delved into Metal Gear Solid 2.
Oh, I have not played Metal Gear Solid 2.
Have you played any Metal Gear Solid
game?
Yeah,
I played Metal Gear Solid 5.
Yeah. So, Hideo Kojima is kind of like the... What role does he serve, I guess, in the game industry? He's kind of like the...
spy.
Like Scorsese almost of video games sometimes. Or that's how people tout him sometimes. And it's mainly because of the Metal Gear Solid games. You know, there's a couple others too, but Kojima worked on the Metal Gear Solid series, and those like are at least 2 is a very movie game. You know? There's a lot of cinematics, a lot of story, and all that. But honestly, I was like super impressed. Like Metal Gear Solid 2 is like 2004 or 5 or something like that. It's like, dang, this is a PS2 game. That's crazy.
Does it look good for its time?
Yeah, I had filters turned off too, and I was like, dang, this looks pretty decent. But I think it's just the story is interesting too, because you know, Solid Snake is the main character of Metal Gear Solid. If you haven't heard of Solid Snake, he's a very popular gaming icon. And so at the start of Metal Gear Solid 2, you play as Solid Snake, and then it switches up on you and you play as a new character. But you're kind of experiencing Snake's story from like a third-person perspective.
Oh, interesting.
And it's super weird. But it has a ton of like weird plot twists.
Interesting.
A lot of, like
Can you hide in a box?
You can hide in a box.
Good.
And you get rocket launchers, and it's a stealth game basically. It's really good.
Interesting.
It's better than I thought. I was impressed. Let's say my expectations were, all right, let's play this stealthy PS2 game. It's like, dang, I see why a lot of people call Kojima the GOAT.
Yeah,
because this is like how his approach is for making games.
When was the first Splinter Cell game? Was that PS2 or was that PS3?
Was it original Xbox?
It might have been original Xbox.
I believe that was on Xbox.
Because I know that's another really good stealth game. I'm honestly, when you say it, there's a lot of really good stealth games that came out. I feel like
that era. Yeah.
I feel like they've been watered down a lot.
Yeah, I mean, what's a stealth game that's come out recently?
Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Is that even a stealth game though?
It's supposed to be.
Is it?
It's just kind of a joke.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't tell you. But I've been playing Metal Gear Solid 2. I've been playing Overwatch and Marvel Rivals.
Yep.
And I'm dipping my toes into World of Warcraft.
Oh, okay. That's like you getting on me for like I'm playing League.
No, I get it. I haven't spent money on it yet.
Okay.
So there's a free trial that gets you up to level 20.
Yep.
But I remember my dad when I was growing up played World of Warcraft. He has many stories of like not neglecting us, but like sorry
got a raid. gotta go do a raid.
Gotta go do the raid, or like he'll be watching me, but he's playing WoW and all that.
Yep.
So it's weird. From that perspective, playing
it's been around for a long time.
Yep. And I'm trying to understand, so I'm getting there.
Yeah,
only played a couple hours.
Well,
so far.
you let me know when that clicks, and you're like, this game makes sense.
I might have to pay because it's a subscription based game. You know, since it's an
can
MMO.
you still pay the subscription with in-game currency?
Yes, you can.
Okay,
so you can trade subscription or monthly subscriptions to get more time to play the game in the game. That part was weird to me. Part. But I mean, I think it's better than not offering that, so that's cool.
Yep.
But I'm just like, huh.
It is interesting because I'm like,
this staff is worth a month of game time.
Yeah, Eve Online did the same thing where they have in-game ISK is the currency, and you have to pay to play, right?
Yeah.
And so you could equivalate value to like real world dollars.
Yeah, I mean, I finished my Grim Dawn run.
Yeah.
And so when you beat Grim Dawn is an ARPG, so it's top down and it's pretty complicated as well.
Yep.
But I wanted even more complexity, if that makes sense. But I wanted to try a different game because really, people, if you play Grim Dawn, they're like, nope, you're gonna play it 5 times so you can get to the actual in-game stuff because you unlock new stuff each time you play.
Okay.
But oh no, I want to try out. I've been interested in MMOs. I was trying to decide Final Fantasy 14 or World of Warcraft, and I was like, well,
there's quite a few that are still going on and very popular.
Oh yeah,
I mean, Knights of the Old Republic is still going on.
I played that when I was young too.
I did too.
Elder Scrolls Online.
Elder Scrolls Online. There we go.
So I had to choose between them, but World of Warcraft, I was like, well, I haven't played any Warcraft game.
It is free to start.
And it's free to start.
I did see Elder Scrolls Online is $2.99 right now.
Yeah. I mean, they're all pretty cheap, but man, the pricing system, what I've been learning about MMOs is all of them have super predatory microtransaction systems. Path of Exile 2 is releasing soonish, so you can... Yeah, that'll be free, right?
It'll be free when it's full release.
Yeah, I'm actually excited for that one.
I think I'll play it when it's free.
We should play together.
We should build characters and play together. Because it looks...
And we can role play. We can be like lovers.
We could be lovers, yes. I played some of Path of Exile 1. I got through the first map. I didn't go much further than that simply because it didn't tickle my fancy at the time.
Yeah.
But they've changed it just enough where it feels like something I'd enjoy more.
Well, Path of Exile 2 has like the largest skill tree in gaming or something like that, right?
It does, yes.
That's crazy.
It is.
That's crazy. But
it's like a freaking star chart.
I know. I want to get into it a little bit. I want to see what's up.
You want to feel it.
I want to see
I want to touch it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Because it's interesting because I'm like, or even like, just exploring different classes and WoW. I'm like, these are like unique, like they're in World of Warcraft, there's like a shaman class, which is all about totems.
Yeah.
Which in a lot of games I've played recently don't really have that system in terms of a class system. You know what I mean? But like having totems and managing totems seems like unique,
kind of cool,
interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to get into that a little bit.
Yeah, I
didn't choose the shaman as my class, but it's like
I like MMOs. There's a lot of times where I feel lost in the game style. And
their time sinks.
Yes, and their time sinks. Like a lot of MMOs, people call them your second job. Yeah. And it's like, I want to play a lot of different games.
When I played Destiny, that was kind of what it was because you had to make sure you got the weeklies and the dailies and the raids.
That's what I did when I was playing War Thunder a lot.
Yeah.
Was I got to log in every day, make sure I get my rewards. And then on top of that, I should play at least 2 games to get the extra rewards.
But there's something like satisfying about that too.
There is,
it's like there's something really satisfying about like in Destiny having like a culmination of multiple weeks kind of in an item or an award or a seasonal no one else or only people that played during this time has this.
I was going so far for getting a veteran decal, which it looks pretty slick. You can put on all your stuff. and it's only for, logging in 365 days in a row.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did you get that?
I did, yes.
Wow, you did not play that you didn't play that much every day, right?
No, I played 1 or 2 matches. Like, it wasn't super long.
That's some commitment right there.
I did log in for 365 days in a row.
Mm-hmm.
And I got my little placard. And
are you able to showcase that somewhere? Besides in War Thunder?
No, it's just in War Thunder.
Yeah.
But I put it on all my vehicles so people know I logged in 365 days in a row.
Man, I wish there probably is systems like this, but like showcase systems for certain achievements.
Mm-hmm.
Is that something on Steam?
Yeah.
For like
in your
individual achievement.
Yep, in your profile. Yeah.
I didn't know that.
I have achievement showcase on in mine. So I select like the top ones that I want to display. And then I also have rarest achievement showcase. So
that's cool.
Yeah.
That's cool. That's nice. I like showing that stuff off. So that'll be interesting. Yeah. And like World of Warcraft, something that's appealing to me right now, and I've not touched it at all, is like there's lists of like different items. So like different mounts you can get or pets.
Yep.
Like that sounds fun. Filling out a pet list.
A pet list.
Or, grinding to find a rare like mount and stuff like that. That sounds fun.
Yeah.
Now, it's only going to be appealing to me if I can acquire most of them.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
It's interesting. I don't know, just something about that checkbox thing, that sense of like that kind of progression I fall for a lot.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I do too. Like, it feels good.
It does.
To see the achievements pop up
it
and
does.
stuff.
That's why I'm into all this retro treatment stuff, because it's getting me into the old games.
I know.
I'm
about to start playing Crusader Kings 3 again once I finish Kingdom Come Deliverance, because I had 100%ed it, but they've released three DLCs since, which I own because I bought the pack that gets me them. And so I have like 56 new achievements I need to go for.
And there you go.
And I have like 83 right now. So.
And there you go.
There you go.
That makes it easy.
It makes it easy.
And there you go. That's another episode of the BroadBoys podcast.
Yes, it is.
Thank you for watching all the way to the end. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, hit us up on all the socials. Go back and watch the last episodes and like those too. All those things.
Hit the bell.
Hit the bell.
Reminders.
Yeah. Leave a comment about like what game has the biggest checkbox list that we should do.
That we should
do.
That
we're going to do. We commit to the top comment as the game that we will 100%.
Oh,
and we won't record again until we 100%ed it. Both of us.
Oh, boy.
See ya.